and welcome to another YouTube video. So this is a new month, so it's a new class, hip openers. So if you follow my classes regularly, you'll know every month we change the sequence. So this is just a shorter version of my regular hour classes. So it's hip openers. So I'm going to just invite you to come to seated. If you've got a pillow, use a pillow just to support your hips. And if you've got blocks, really good idea to have them to hand too. If you haven't, don't worry. So come to a nice seated position, grounding down through the seat bones, and just take a lovely tall spine. So when I say a tall spine, I don't mean rigid, so don't flare through the chest or create tension in the lower back. It's just sitting up nice and tall. Start to just draw the lower belly in, just feel a little engagement through the core. Relax the shoulders, so just draw them up, back and down, away from your ears. And just have your palms facing up in your lap or maybe just resting on the knees. So just finding a comfortable position that suits you today. If cross-legged isn't accessible, then please do come to kneeling or legs out in front. I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes or softening your gaze. And just take a couple of moments now just to connect with your breath. Just relaxing the body, relaxing the mind, just bringing your awareness inside. Just breathing in and breathing out. Noticing your inhales. Noticing the belly expand as you breathe in. And as you exhale through the nose or mouth, just find what's comfortable for you. Just notice how the belly relaxes. So just continue for a few moments, inhaling and exhaling. Maybe this is a good time to set an intention for your class. Maybe dedicating your class to somebody in your thoughts at the moment. Dedicating an intention of gratitude, forgiveness, love, whatever comes to mind. And if nothing does, that's okay. Just breathing in and breathing out. Slow, long inhales and slow, long exhales. Try and notice the breath becoming fluid. Just see if you can notice when the inhale becomes an exhale. No pausing, just a nice fluid flow with your breath. Just breathing in, breathe. Just for a couple of more rounds here together. Lovely, and just slowly start to open your eyes. And we're just going to start to take some movements through the hips. So just some nice big circles. And again, as you draw back, tucking the pelvis under. And as you come forward, just tilting the pelvis forward. Almost imagining like your pelvis is a bowl of water. As you come forward, that water is going to spill out. And as you come back, the water's drawing back to the back of your body. Maybe start to incorporate the shoulders. Just finding some movement that feels good here. Still keeping that slow connection with your breath. Slow, long inhales, slow, long exhales. We're just getting some mobility through the hips here. So there's no rush. You don't need to rush here. And then maybe just reversing that movement. Really thinking about the movement of your pelvis, your lower back, the shoulders, nice and slow. Inhaling as you come forward, exhaling as you come back. Lovely, coming back to center. Take a nice breath in, lengthen through the spine, relax the shoulders away from your ears. Inhale, draw the arms all the way up to the sky. Relax the shoulders, so maybe take a little softness through the elbows. Arms are just shoulder width apart. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to take a twist to the right, opposite hand to opposite knee. Your right hand is just as a support behind you, so just coming to the fingertips. Don't lean into this hand. And think about your gaze. So wherever you gaze is where your spine will follow. So the deeper your gaze around, the deeper your twist. So still think about this left hip pointing forward. Don't draw it around with you. Inhale, find a bit of length. Exhale, twist a little bit deeper. Inhale, reach those arms back to center. And exhale, twisting the other way. Opposite hand to opposite knee. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, can you twist a little deeper, gazing over your shoulder. Inhale, arms reach back to center. Interlace the fingers, push the palms away, and really draw those arms back by your ears. So your biceps are coming in line with your ears if you can. If you find this too much in your shoulders, just release the hands and just bring your arms shoulder width apart. Otherwise, palms turn up, drawing through the heels of your hand. Arms draw back. Nice big breath in, lift and lengthen through the bandhas. So Mula Bandha, pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha around the lower abdominals. Push through the left heel of your hand and just take a little side bend. Keeping that spine straight, it's just a lateral bend, creating space down the side ribs. Inhale fully here. Really enjoy the space you're creating for your lungs. Great for building flexibility through the ribs and lung capacity. Inhale back to center. Exhale, let's go the other side, pushing through the right heel of your hand. Find that lovely space through the right ribs, but still keep length through the left rib, so don't dump the weight down here. Coming back to center. Release the palms, release the fingers, draw them behind you, interlace the fingers. We're working towards getting the palms together. You may not be there today, that's fine, depends how tight you are in the shoulders. Lift your gaze. And then just start to reach forward with your chest. Spine is still long, we're just pivoting forward. Option to release the hands all the way to the sky and reach your forehead down towards the floor. Big breath in, big breath out. Feeling a lovely stretch across the back of the hips. On your next inhale, coming all the way back up. Releasing the hands, maybe just take a few little circles through the shoulders. Lovely, and just place the fingertips in front and sit up nice and tall. Well done. So we're coming round to our all fours position now. So coming into our tabletop, shoulders are above the wrists, hips are above the knees. Making sure that your fingers are pointing forward, gripping through the tips of the fingers. And think about drawing some weight through into the heels of the thumb. Don't feel like you're being pushed and pulled down. I want you to feel a lovely lift. So drawing the belly in, the pelvic floor in, working through those bandhas. Crown of the head reaches forward. Coming into our cat-cow, so belly relaxes, tailbone lifts. Shoulder blades drawing together, head lifts. That's your inhale. As you exhale, tailbone draws down towards the feet, shoulder blades start to widen, chin comes to chest, gazing towards your belly. Repeating that inhale, tailbone lifts. So just continuing with this wave-like motion through the spine, but I want you to think each movement, the tailbone moves first, the head is the last to lift. Just a couple of more rounds here, nice and slowly, just opening up through these vertebrae. Lovely, lovely movement through every yoga class, really getting that spinal fluid moving all the way to the brain. Coming back to your center, touch the toes together, widen through your heels, send your hips back to the heels into child's pose. Reaching through the arms, option to release your forehead to the mat, or maybe if you can't, just use your pillow or your block to bring the floor a little closer. Couple of nice deep breaths here. Inhaling fully, exhaling completely. When you're ready, pushing through the knees, coming back to your all fours. Drawing the knees back to center, toes tuck under, hips come nice and high to find your first downward facing dog. If your hamstrings are quite tight, just take a little softness through the knees, bringing your feet hip width apart. And again, if that still isn't comfortable, you can take your feet even wider than hip width apart. The key here is a lovely straight spine, hips nice and high. Think about those fingers pointing forward, weight into the thumbs. Drawing your head through and take a little rotation through the upper arms to widen through the shoulder blades. And maybe start to just pedal through the feet, finding some nice space through the Achilles heels, the calves, the hamstrings. Connecting with your breath. When you're ready, lift your gaze, look at the space between your thumbs, and we're just going to walk to the top of our mat. Keeping the fingertips connected, and then just start to lengthen through the back of the legs. Gazing slightly forward with a nice long neck, lovely straight spine. Keep a softness through your knees if your hamstrings are tight, maybe just bringing the weight into the heels. We want to work towards bringing the weight into the toes, the balls of your feet, and lengthening through the legs. So we really ideally want a nice straight line from the hip to the heels. Spine is nice and long. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, soften the knees, bring your belly towards your thighs, and draw the crown of your head down, shin to chest for your forward fold. Holding on to the elbows, releasing the shoulders. Maybe just take a little yes, no with your head, releasing any tension through the neck. And then when you're ready, release the arms. And just rolling up through the spine. Think about the spine stacking one vertebrae at a time. The last thing to lift is your head and your chin as we reach to the top into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Well done, everybody. Think about a nice neutral pelvis here. So finding your neutral pelvis, we want to work towards the tailbone drawing down, the front of the pelvis just a slight lift up. Relaxing through the hips, relax the shoulders, arms releasing down by your side. Take a breath in, inhale, reach up. Arms can go wide, or you can bring your palms together, gaze to the thumbs. Soften the knees, exhale, forward fold. Fingers connect to the mat, straightening through the legs, straightening through the spine, halfway lift. Exhale, release the hands down, step your right leg back, step your left leg back to plank pose. Find space between your shoulder blades, so don't dump the weight down. Feel a lovely lift through the arms. And just rocking forward and back. If you can, dropping the knees at any time. Keeping your heart space between your hands, and then drop the knees. Inner elbows go forward. Cross over at the ankles, lift your legs, and then just lower yourself down to the mat. Nice straight spine. Release the legs, hands either side of the chest, elbows hug in. Inhale, cobra, just a gentle cobra, engaging through the legs, through the glutes. Exhale, release down. Tuck the toes under, push into the knees. Hips go back towards the heels. Then lift those hips nice and high for your downward facing dog. And again, just take a moment to check in with your alignment. Fingers pointing forward, gripping through the tippy fingers. Bringing the weight more into the balls of the thumb to take pressure off of the wrist. Think about a lovely long line all the way to your hip, all the way to your tailbone. Draw your body through your arms, thinking about your belly towards your thighs. Shoulders are away from your ears. So take a rotation through the top of the arms, like you're holding a beach ball between the top of your arms. Engaging through the shoulders, and just keep pedaling through the legs. When you're ready, look at the space between your thumbs. You can step or walk to the top of your mat. Feet hip width apart, or feet together. Halfway lift, lengthening through the spine, lengthening through the back of the legs. Exhale, releasing down to your forward fold. and slowly rolling up to standing. Last thing to lift is your head. And when you reach the top, arms are going to lift high. And then exhale the hands to the heart. Well done, everyone. We're going to go with the second round of our sun salutations with some stronger options if you wish to take them. Think about feet hip width apart, even wider if it's more comfortable. The closer your feet together, the more challenging it is. So if your feet are together, think about a little internal rotation through the top of the thighs to widen through those ankles. So let's go again. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back, bringing the weight into the toes. Exhale, release down, hands connected to the mat. You're going to step or you're going to jump back to plank. Take a couple of breaths in plank. Widening through the shoulders, engaging the core. Lower the knees to lower all the way down, or just lower all the way down to your mat. In one long line. Bring the arms slightly forward back a little bit so they're underneath your elbows. Take your low cobra or push into the hands for a higher cobra. If you wish, you can push into the feet, lift the knees, lift the thighs for upward dog. Exhale, toes tuck under, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here, using this to check in with your alignment. Pedaling through the feet, or maybe you can keep those heels drawn down to the mat. But if this means your spine starts to round, you keep a softness through the knees. Downward dog is a back stretch, primarily. 3 more breaths here. One more breath here. When you're ready, lift your gaze, look at the space between your thumbs. You're going to walk or step, or if you want to jump back, take a little squat down, and then take that leap forward. Halfway lift, lengthening through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. And rolling up to standing. Nice and slowly, building the spine as you go. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to the heart. Well done, everyone. So we're nice and warmed up through our sun salutations. We're going to get ourselves back down to downward dog. So inhale, reaching up. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, flat back, lengthening through the legs, weight into the toes. Exhale, release the hands to the mat and step back to downward facing dog. Finding your downward facing dog, we're going to lift the right leg to the sky, grounding through the left heel. Try not to take the weight into the left hand. Try and keep the weight even through your arms. We're going to bend the knee, draw the heel to the bum, and yawn open that hip. Gaze under your right armpit. Again, try not to bring the weight uneven through the hands. Keep that even. And take some circles through your hips. Nice and steady with the breath. Nice and slow with your circles. Then come back to your 3-legged dog. Hips are nice and square. Bend the knee. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. So nice and slowly, and remember, if it doesn't get there one go, you just grab it and you put it there. Front knee is above the ankle, back knee releases down. Inhale, draw the thighs together, draw the glutes together, and feel that lift as you reach up to your low lunge. Big breath in, gazing between your hands. Exhale, hands release down. Hands at either side of your foot, but if you need more space for your body, you can bring them inside. So you choose. We're going to take a breath in, we're going to lift the gaze so the spine stays long. We're going to send the hips back, lengthening through the front hamstring. It's going to take that a couple of times. So inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, you got this, exhale back. Lengthening through that hamstring. Inhaling forward. We're going to bring the hands inside of the foot And we're going to walk our foot to the long edge of your mat. So we're wider than hip width apart, keeping this knee above the ankle. Back toes can stay tucked or untucked. Push through your left hand and find a nice big lift. So don't dump the weight down, lift up through your left hand. Right hand's going to come to the inside of your knee, and just see if you can open that hip a little more. If you can, rolling over onto your little toe edge of your foot, gazing over your shoulder, holding for a couple of breaths. A lovely lizard, twisted lizard. Couple of more breaths. And then come back, keeping your hip nice and open, pushing through the hands. Option to tuck the toe under and lift that back leg. If you find this is okay, option to come down to the forearms. Keeping that hip nice and open. Remember, you can drop this back leg at any time. Push through the elbows. And just take 3 slow, long breaths here. One more breath. If you're on the elbows, push into the hands, come and lift. Bring that knee back to center, walking the foot back in nice and square. Front knee is over the ankle. Just find your balance, find your security, and come and rise into crescent lunge. Inhale, reaching up. Really feel some balance and control here. It's a hard one. It's a really deep, wide lunge. Big breath in. Exhale, hands release down. And step back to plank. Well done, everyone. Drop your knees if you need to. So you're going to drop the knees and lower, or you're going to lower one long line all the way down. Inhale, cobra, or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Really feel the difference here in this hip. See if you can notice this right hip feeling slightly different than the left. Using your downward dog to check in with your alignment. Pedaling through the feet or keeping them nice and static. Left leg lifts high. Right heel grounds down. Drop your left heel to the bottom and yawn open that hip. Keeping the weight even through your hands. And take those big circles. Keep breathing. Don't forget to breathe. Come back to your 3-legged dog. And then step the left leg to the top of your mat. Drop that back knee. Lift your gaze, bringing your hands inside if you need more space. Exhale, hips go back, lengthening through this front hamstring. Let's just take that a couple of times. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Exhale back. And again, inhaling forward. Front knee over the ankle. Hands come inside of the foot, walking that foot nice and wide. So it's wider than hip width apart. Pushing through your right hand so your wrist is above your shoulders. Nice straight line here. Don't dump down, really push out. As you push out, left knee comes to the inside. The hand and knee connect and you're going to push open that hip. Take a little twist. Gazing over your shoulder if you can, rolling onto the little toe if you can. Lovely hip opener, a couple of breaths. Coming back to center. Heel, leaving the leg where it is, and bringing your hands inside. Keep that hip nice and open. Option to tuck the back foot and lift that leg. So this left hip is still open, you've still rolled over onto the little toe edge. If that's enough, you stay here, back knee drops if you need to, or you come down to the forearms. Try and find the weight even through those forearms. And just breathe, connect to those slow, long breaths. So passive hip stretch. Inhaling and exhaling, you got this, well done. One more breath. Push into the hands if you're on the forearms. Bring that foot back to center. And find some stability here. If you need to shorten your stance, just take a little step in, that's okay. Front knee over the ankle, draw the thighs towards the midline of the body, engage the glutes, come and rise into your crescent lunge. Big breath in. Big breath out. Relax the shoulders, relax the arms. Lovely, hands release down, and we step back to plank. Lovely, you got this. So we're going to take our little vinyasa, so lower the knees and lower, or lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedaling through the feet, taking 5 breaths here. Or now you may be able to draw the heels down towards the mat and stay nice and static. Just find what feels comfortable here, but just checking in with your alignment. Shoulders are nice and wide away from your ears. Body's drawing through the arms, gazing towards your thighs. One more breath. And lift your gaze, look at the space between your thumbs, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway lift. And forward fold. And slowly uncurl that spine to standing. Big breath in at the top. Exhale the hands to the heart. Lovely, well done everyone. We're going to come into our standing balance hip opener, which is tree pose. So standing hip width apart, nice and tall. And what we don't want is to pop that hip out. So we want to make sure we've got lovely length and support here. So find your weight into your left leg and find your tree pose. So you can keep the toe connected, heel above the ankle to the calf, or all the way to the thigh. So you choose where your tree pose is today. So when you're ready, let's bring the weight into the left foot and find our tree pose. And this is where you discover if you've got really slippy leggings. Bringing the hands to the heart. Using your drishti to keep you balanced. So that's a focal point in front of you in the distance that doesn't move. Tapping into our mantras of I am stable, I am strong. And if you wobble, that's okay. Just come out and join us again. We're coming into our sort of a counterbalance through our tree pose, which is called, I can't remember what it's called actually. Can't remember what it's called, something palm. I'll find out, I'll figure it out. So I want you to bring your right hand to your knee, palm facing up. Left arm reaches up to the sky. And then we're just going to reach that left arm over. So our balance is really compromised now. Your ankle is really wobbling like mine just to find that balance. When you're ready, hands come back to the heart. Knee draws in and release down. Oh, you can feel this ankle having a little bit of a party going on there, trying to find stability. Oh, swaying palm, I think it's called. Something like that. So then we go the other side. So find your tree pose. Find your stability. If you've got a wall, use a wall, that's good too. Hands to prayer. Standing nice and tall, don't knock that hip out. Keep that hip nice and strong. Release your left palm to your left knee. Right arm reaches high. And then just sway your tree over to the left. I am stable, I am strong. Hands come back to the heart. Knee draws into the center and release down. And then we're going to take our feet a little wider than hip width apart, toes pointing to the diagonal. So we come down into Malasana, our squat pose. So when you're ready, and if you can't come all the way down, that's fine. The key is to try and keep the chest nice and lifted. And a lot of this is to do with mobility of the hips or structure of the hips, not even mobility. I don't find Malasana squat particularly comfortable. So we're just going to get our way down as whatever you can. So when you're ready, drop those hips. And you can keep your Malasana moving. If you find it too difficult to stay static, fingers can go to the mat and just keep moving from one side to the other. Or you keep the heels dropped down and finding your squat, elbows pushing into the knees. Keep your spine nice and straight. Just for 1 or 2 breaths, and then drop your bottom all the way down. Draw the knees in and send them nice and long as we come into our Dandasana start pose. So pushing through the heels, lengthening through the leg, finding those seat bones, drawing up through the bandhas, just relaxing the arms by the side of your hips. I like to draw my chin into the chest to find length through my neck. Couple of breaths here. Inhale, reach those arms up, lift your gaze. And as you exhale, reach forward like you're trying to reach something beyond your feet. Maybe you can grab your feet. If you can't, that doesn't matter, just grab your shins. Spine nice and long, and then exhale, forward fold. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then when you're ready, we're going to restack the spine, slowly curling the spine all the way up. And then we're going to draw the feet in, opening up through the knees, soles of the feet together, into Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose. I want you to think about opening the soles of your feet like a book. So rather than gluing the soles together, think about opening them. Maybe just using your hands to create that little opening. As much as you can, just taking hold of your feet, sitting up nice and tall. Now if you've got pillows or blocks, if your legs are here, that's okay. Again, it's more structural than mobility-wise. You can just stack blocks, pillows, blankets, anything under there. Rather than hold them, have the support to allow them to release. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. And then you're going to start to reach forward. So elbows are staying tucked in. You're just going to start to reach forward as much as you can. Nice opening through the hips. Just go as far as you can. You may get all the way to your toes, you may not. And slowly coming back up the same way as you went in. Bringing your hands under the knees, drawing the knees together, and just bringing yourself to lying onto the mat. And we're just going to come into our final hip opener of Happy Baby. So first of all, let's just give those knees a little hug, a little massage from left to right. Hands are going to go on the knees, opening up the knees towards the armpits. Arms come inside and grab the outside of your feet. And then here we want to think about planting those feet to the sky. Think about the ankles above the knees and think about drawing the thighs down towards the mat. Now if you're here rocking on the thoracic spine, middle spine, you want to really draw that hip down, that tailbone down. Try and find connection through the whole of your spine. Keep drawing those knees down towards your armpits, finding that final hip opener. You can rock from left to right like a real happy baby if you wish. Options, take your peace fingers, hook them between the big toe and the second toe, and just hook around your big toe and opening up through the legs. So nice straight legs. Bend your knees. Bringing everything back to center, give yourself a little hug, a little rock from left to right. And then relaxing your feet down. And we're just going to take a couple of minutes Shavasana. So legs can be bent, so feet wide as the mat, knees knocked in together to create a nice opening through the lower back. or take your legs long, whatever you feel the most comfortable for you today. If your legs are long, take them mat width apart with your palms facing up away from your body. And just relax. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and exhale through the mouth. With each exhalation through the mouth, just try and relax your body a little deeper, feeling a little heavier. And come back to your natural breath, just being here with your body breathing. Allowing the feet to fall wherever they rest. Just allowing the whole of your body to surrender down. Just going to take a few moments here, just breathing and just being here with yourself for just a couple of minutes. So inhaling fully and exhaling completely. If you're enjoying your Shavasana, then please do stay here. Take as long as you want. Otherwise, bring your legs together. Point through the toes, reach your arms all the way up and over for a full body stretch. Bend the knees and rolling over to your right hand side, using your arm as your pillow. Left hand comes in front of your face and just slowly bring yourself back to your comfortable seat. And when you're ready, we're going to reach the arms all the way up to the sky, finding Anjali Mudra prayer pose, drawing the thumbs to the heart center. Just tapping into the intention you may have set at the beginning of the class. And just thanking yourself for taking time to do this video today. From my heart to yours, Namaste. Thank you.